So this Friday, brand new iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max is gonna be available at the Apple Store. You can walk in, pick one up if you want one, and buy it on Friday. I got it a little bit early. I went with the midnight green because of this color. This is something very unique, a color that Apple has never introduced into their lineup. Now, the first thing I noticed based on first impressions is the frost back. This has like a very matte finish to it. It doesn't shine as much as last year's XS, but it just looks and feels a little bit better. But the one thing you notice right away, especially if you have the XS in your hand, is that the new 11 Pro is slightly thicker. And the reason being is because Apple stuck inside a bigger battery. That should translate to more battery life. Now, I need a moment of silence while I take off the plastic. Can you please be... What a sweet sound. Now, right off the bat, you got the stainless steel trimming. The buttons are still placed in the same spot, but the big thing this year is the triple camera setup. You have 3 lenses on the back. The standard telephoto lens is still there. You have the regular wide lens, and most importantly, the ultra wide lens, which will give you that nice landscape photography. In the box, you have some paperwork, and of course, you get your standard Apple stickers. As usual, I like to place them somewhere. I'll place one right here, and another one right over here. You get a Lightning to USB Type-C cable. And finally, thank you, we get a bigger charger in the box. This is an 18-watt charger, and it's been long overdue. We've been using 5-watt chargers for way too long to charge our iPhones, and this one will speed up the process of charging your device. So I got the phone set up, and the first thing you can do right off the bat is switch it to dark mode. That's one of the defining features of iOS 13, and because you're using that OLED display, it's gonna help save battery life. I do notice the display looking a bit nicer. It's not drastic, but it is noticeable. This display can go up to 1200 nits of peak brightness. It doesn't mean it's gonna be 1200 at max brightness all the time, but let's say you're watching HDR content and there's like a very bright portion being displayed. The new iPhone 11 Pro is gonna be able to show you that coloring a lot better. The next thing is Face ID. It's supposed to be 30% faster, so let's find out if that's actually true. So Face ID is definitely slightly faster, sometimes drastically faster, depending on the angle you're holding the phones at. With the iPhone 11 Pro, there is the ability to have the Face ID be detected from slightly more extreme angles, where on the XS Max, you kind of had to have on the phone in the center. The next thing is sound. Sound is supposed to be improved on these devices, so let's find out if the sound is better than the XS. So here's the thing, max volume on both of these devices are pretty similar. Like, one doesn't sound significantly higher than the other. The real difference is to the spectrum, the type of audio that's coming out of the 11 Pro. It just sounds like there's more layers to the audio, giving you more of an immersive experience. It's not huge, but it's big enough to make a difference. So obviously the camera is the star of the show. That's what was really focused on during the Apple event. 3 lenses, 3 different focal lengths. You have your standard ultra wide lens, which will give you that nice landscape photography. You have your regular wide lens, and of course the telephoto lens, which allows you to zoom in up to 2 times. Now, the big deal about this, at least what I've seen from other people's reviews, is the consistency of color between all 3 focal lengths. This is a tough thing to do, and a lot of other manufacturers who release 2 or 3 or even 4 lenses have a tough time keeping the color science between all of them equal. So for your own personal reference, this is what the front-facing camera looks like when I'm taking a selfie. And here we go in portrait mode. And this is what the rear-facing camera looks like compared to the XS. Now, the biggest issue for me on the iPhone XS was the modem that was inside of it. Sometimes I just wouldn't get good reception because of the Intel chip that's inside of here. This one has been updated. It has better LTE bands, it has Wi-Fi 6, so I'm expecting to get better reception. I'll make sure to include that in my full review. So that pretty much wraps up this unboxing. Expect a full review. Please drop your comments and questions down below. If you have any questions about these devices, I'll do my best to answer them in my full review. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.